The journey for a hockey player is one where you spend a lot of hours. You got to go shoot some pucks, you got to stay on the ice, you got to put in the extra effort. And you don't realize it then. All the times you came home after school as a young kid and shot pucks underneath the deck, trying to put holes in carpet that was hanging down. It puts all of that into perspective, and it's that first bar that you get to where you say, okay, I've gotten this far, but it's all that extra effort that pays off down the road.
Every kid has the dream of being in the NHL. Every kid has the fantasy, the want to be scoring those goals in real life. But that is the hope. And when you're here in Seattle, what we're building here is a new organization. It's a very fascinating process to see players, the routes they take, the journey, the path, the teams, the cities that they live in and that they play for in order to get to this level.
Here comes Kyler Yamamoto, open ice, the trailer Burakovsky, he scores! Welcome back, Andre Burakovsky.
It's a real exciting time of year. The Kraken are in a playoff hunt. They're searching for one of those wild card spots. It's also an exciting time of year for the prospects that are coming up as well. And they might even get a chance to be a part of this or at least observe it, which gets them excited about becoming a Kraken someday as well.
I think the future is very bright. I do a lot of advanced work with other organizations and talk to other scouts that I know and have learned to know over the years. And when they grade our prospects, the Kraken prospects, they score very highly. So I saw firsthand in Carolina Ron's plan and how he had that in place, built the foundation for that organization. The same thing will happen here. And it's all about, you know, the number of prospects you have. When you have the numbers in place, it usually works out.
We feel very good about our picks. You know, it went very well for us. We got the players that we thought we might be getting, so we're very pleased with how the day went.
Croner and I go way back. He played for us in Hartford, worked together in Carolina, obviously in different roles. But then I got to watch him as a scout and appreciate his eye for talent and also the character background checks he does on players. And I think that's very important because the Kraken have said from day one, sure, you want A-caliber players, but you also want A-caliber people. And I think Robert's one of those guys, and he's also been able to evaluate and scout those players, draft those players, and watch those players develop.
My name is Robert Kron. I'm a director of amateur scouting with the Kraken. That job entails to be in charge of the draft, mainly. So basically leading the scouting staff on the amateur side. It's a lot of travel throughout the year. The work never really stops until the draft day. We run pretty much Zoom meetings every week with different departments from different regions. We're putting a list together that we discuss at the meetings, overlooking all the leagues in the world that we need to know in order to find talent for us for the future. Oh. Wow. It's a quicker pace today than yesterday. I think that this is a great state for hockey. We drafted out of Washington State, obviously last year with Caden Hamilton. A lot of good players come from the teams that are located here. Very well. For us, we're really big on character. We want to bring good people into the organization. Obviously good players, but also we make sure that these people like to work in a group environment and for one another. So that's very important. Obviously, the talented players that are needed to win hockey games. That's another thing that's very important. But we look for mainly good character people. Oh, he went for it. I play the game. Now watching these young kids and watching them succeed, and offer advice when you can, if they end up on your team, if you're asked to. It's extremely satisfying to see. I love everything about it.
Oh, wow.
These players, they're young men and they need time. It's very rare that the player is ready right from the get-go. You know, Marty stepped right in after his college years. Shane is on a good track. Ed Shaw that we drafted last year. But the timeline for the fans to see the players that we draft is anywhere, you know, I would say 5 years would be 4 to 5 years. It's where you might expect this player to be ready for NHL. I always watch these players no matter where they end up playing or who ends up drafting them. Obviously, it's great when you have a chance to draft somebody that you really thought that you want to have on your team to play in the future.
I'm really excited because Kraken is the young team. I think I have good hockey sense and stuff like that, and good skills, and I think I can play one day in the NHL.
It's extremely satisfying for every scout when you see guys succeeding, and you know that you kind of feel that what you potentially saw in the player is happening, and then it's satisfying for every scout if you ask them.
Draft night for me was super special. I mean, you're just kind of waiting and then kind of going there. You don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm super grateful and super happy that a team like Seattle picked me. And
I was pretty nervous, so I don't remember, but after I was very excited. Yeah, I don't remember nothing.
Just growing up playing hockey, you dream of playing in the NHL, and just going through the draft, it's crazy. Hearing your name get called, it shivers. It's like you want to cry, but happy tears. And I mean, honestly, it was such a surreal moment. I forgot what my parents said to me when they gave me the hug. So I think it was just kind of I want to get on the stage and get the jersey on. It was so much fun and such an honor, and obviously just really blessed to be drafted by such a great organization.
Cool, buddy.
Did you have fun on the ice or what? Yeah. Yeah? Attaboy.
Getting obsessed with taping a stick.
Yeah? Look at it. Look, that's how you tape a stick. Look. Should I change it halfway and go green in the bottom? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. I'll change it up tomorrow for you then. Deal? Attaboy.
Life in the juniors is different because up until that point, you've probably only played minor hockey in the city you come from, so it's a big step up. You're no longer living with your family, you're living with a host family, or billets as we call them. You're going to school still, but you're now around the team 7 days a week, 31 days a month, and it's different because you have expectations that are on you to not only go to school, but to stay rested, eat properly, stay in shape.
It's a normal week. We come up in the mornings around 9, work out, and then you got a couple hours to kind of just relax, and then you got practice at 2. And then on game days, Thursday night, we usually play here at home, Mem Gardens, and it's packed. We have like 3,000 fans almost every night, which is great. It gets really rowdy in here, so. But then yeah, on a game and then road trip probably the next day, you're up on the bus. If you gotta go 2 places on the road, then you're staying an overnighter. If not, you're back on the bus and heading back to North Bay.
You play the games, you work as hard as you can, you obviously try and produce on the ice, but you really don't have a lot of idea until it gets closer to draft time when the pro scouts, the pro staff start reaching out to your family saying, we're interested, can we talk to him, or can you tell us a little bit about him? So the only thing that you can do to get drafted is just play very well at that level and work your way up through the team.
Every kid has the dream of being in the NHL. When you look at a guy like Oliver Bjorkstrand, if you ask him to look at his journey from juniors all the way to here, all the way to Seattle, I mean, his path is going to be different than a lot of other players. And I think Oliver has a bit of that romantic story as well. A semi-local kid being from Portland and then rising the ranks to the top level of his sport.
Oliver Bjorkstrand, I had the chance to watch play when I was doing color commentating earlier in my career. And he was a two-way player. He was just as good defensively as he was offensively. He's a calm player, and you can see that even in his game today, and I'm not surprised that he was chosen to be a part of the All-Star team because that game comes out in him every time you see him on the ice.
This cool, crisp, clear first Saturday in February in Toronto. We welcome you to the 68th National Hockey League All-Star Game. And the talent on display will be and has been staggering.
Always a tremendous guy for this organization. What I love about this player is his total game, his compete level for his size. He wins virtually every 50-50 battle in the corner. He can retrieve pucks and start a play. He can kill plays defensively. So those are two things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but are vitally important to players' success.
Here's another breakaway, and this time a goal. Oliver Bjorkstrand from the
It was a fun game to play. For me, I think it's a special being able to play with all some great players like Crosby and McKinnon and all those guys. So being out there with them is fun, and again, just being able to have this chance is a big honor for me.
When I joined the team, Bjorky was really helpful. I feel like we had the European connection. Just off the ice, on a day off, on the road, going to grab a lunch, grab a coffee. Then playing with him too, he helped me a lot. Getting comfortable.
Now Bjorkstrand, here it comes. Stop the rebound. Scores!
Bjorky is a great lineman. He wins a lot of battles. It's the little details he does on D-zone, and then on transition, it helps you as a lineman because he gets open very, very often.
For the shot, goes wide. The rebound. Scores!
Making the All-Star, it's something he's worked really hard, and I think start of the year he was our best player, best forward. He was scoring big goals for us, in big moments, and I feel like he was the guy who deserved it the most for sure.
That's the beauty of our team. You have a bunch of all-stars, whether they're NHL all-stars, whether they're all-stars in the dressing room, right? I think one of the biggest examples of that is a guy like Jamie Alexiak. His stats don't always show up on the score sheet, but what he does on the ice to disrupt opposing team is something that I don't think can be overstated.
First off, how we doing, Seattle? All right.
What I like about the big rig is he's very calm.
He's pretty reserved most of the time, tries to stay out of people's way, but he's a really funny guy. Throws out a lot of one-liners, a lot of movie quotes. Fun being his partner and hanging out with him. Riggsy's the best to play with because, he's so good defensively.
Got one here, you got one here. Let's go. Far side. You got me, Will, you got me.
Makes my job easy because that's what I try to do too, is play defense first. A lot of times we're out there for D-zone face-offs, so we're in the D-zone quite a bit, just right off the hop. So it's nice playing with him because he's good at getting the puck out and locking down on D.
Seeing how he defends, that he just limits opponents' times, plays against the top guys, and makes it really, really hard on opponents to get anything, especially in the offensive zone. And one thing also you notice is just how many shots he blocks. And a lot of the times you don't even notice that he blocks them just because he doesn't even make a scene or a face or anything. It's almost like a little mosquito bite. It's amazing how tough he is.
Keep shooting, buddy. Keep shooting.
For being a big man, he has sneaky, really good hands that he doesn't whip out all the time, but when he does, it's pretty incredible.
Those players, the Jamie Alexiaks, are just as valuable to your team as players who have, seen a lot of success, all-star, what have you, because of the things that they do that don't oftentimes show up.
Players alone today were on the move. Before that, Alex Wenberg moving on Wednesday out of the New York Rangers via a trade. The Kraken getting 2 draft picks.
Yes, it is a business. And when you look at players who have invested so much time into an organization, you've got guys whose families are here, whose kids are here. They go to school. These are people, and I think a lot of times we focus so much on a player as an asset, and we forget the person underneath the jersey. It can also be an exciting time because a player who starts off here in Seattle, they're a part of our story. They're a part of this journey. And then you bring in a draft pick, you bring in a prospect. It really is a full circle moment, and it is a big circle.